I'm already a furry at this point. I've been a furry
Right,
for
right.
a very long time. So I just picked up my tablet and just started to learn drawing. Like, I could make something out of this. I told myself, like, I could make something out of this. This could be my moment to become more than this. So I just start picking up my the tablet, look at some references and started drawing. And from that day, I discovered that, wow, I actually enjoy art a lot. I really, really love art.
Welcome, guys, to another episode of the Fox and Burger podcast, where we bring you closer to the Asian side of the furry fandom, one episode at a time. I'm your co-host, Michael the Macho Fox.
And I'm Burger.
And today, we bring you our very first interview with a Cambodian fur, Reachea.
In this episode, we learned about Reachea's life growing up in the countryside and in an urban tourist hotspot. We also took a look at his journey into becoming an artist and what inspired him to get into digital art. Finally, we asked about the Cambodian furry fandom to see how many there really are over there.
We're excited to finally visit Cambodia, so sit back, relax, and enjoy some kway teow. Okay, and welcome to the podcast, Reachea.
Hello. And it's so nice to be here, though, to finally get to join in your podcast. So
Yeah. Have you watched some of our episodes before?
oh, I do watch one of your episodes of the you interview Hyena Paul.
Cheetah Paws?
Oh, Cheetah Paul, yeah, Cheetah Paul.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Don't worry, he's not listening.
Yeah.
I find very entertaining
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, we'll see him. He's actually coming to Taiwan soon for a tea party. That's a con coming up. Yeah, so
Ooh.
for the folks here in Taiwan, we'll see him pretty soon. So you saw that episode. Did you see any others or?
I have not yet, but I do find that episode quite really entertaining for me,
Yeah.
which got me caught up for like the entire session as well. So there's that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad.
Mhm.
I mean, and you have the honor of being like the very first Cambodian fur on the podcast. How do you feel about that?
Oh, it's such an exciting moment. I really wanted to share the furry detail from Cambodia to everyone here, so I'm really
Yeah.
excited about that part.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, that's what this podcast is all about. It's sharing furry cultures from different parts of Asia and then comparing how that is to other people. So I think it's great that we have people from Laos, from Malaysia, Indonesia, a lot of places that share their own unique cultures for everyone to hear. So we're glad to have you here.
You know, Cambodia has always been a place that we wanted to go to for the podcast and also like physically. And honestly, like I was really ecstatic when I saw your Twitter. I think that's how we first met. And then I think we also like talked a little bit about like another Cambodian fur who's also an artist. Like what was his name again?
I think his name is P Sen. I believe that's how.
Yeah. I think I haven't reached out to him yet, but maybe, obviously maybe do that later. But yeah, thank you so much for being on the pod.
Thank you so much as well for inviting me here. It's such an honor. So I'm
Sure.
really excited to share all this information with everyone.
We usually like to begin with very basic questions, of course. So could you please tell us your name, your persona, and where you live?
Oh, of course. So my name is Reachea, and I'm obviously from Cambodia. And my persona is inspired from a behemoth and a wolf. But you would see more of a wolf side on his design, but you can see the small bit of behemoth detail on his horn and his tail.
Sure. Really random question, but have you ever played Final Fantasy before? Because when I hear Behemoth, I think of Final Fantasy.
Well, you're not wrong. You're not wrong to speculate that because yeah, I do take the inspiration from the Final Fantasy, but for
No
me,
way, no way. I was like, I kind of got that feeling, like when you said the word, but then also like looking at your persona, I was like, okay, yeah, this guy, yeah. No, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Final Fantasy, so that struck a chord with me.
yeah, but for me, unfortunately, I never get a chance to play Final Fantasy myself. But
Oh, sure.
I do like their monster design, so that's why I take
Oh,
surely
yeah.
inspiration from the behemoth.
They're so creative. Like I know some of the materials reused, but like the monster designs, they're very very creative. Yeah, I mean it's very fantasy. It's in the name.
They are so charming.
So for your persona, you said he's like part behemoth, part wolf. I noticed that he's wearing a blindfold, but yet you're not a blind wolf. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Oh, of course. So the reason why I choose him to wear a blindfold is because I took inspiration from other character from League of Legends. You know
Lee
how,
Sin.
yeah, Listen and Jin. You know how that character be charming without revealing their faces.
Oh, Jin, the he's the ADC, right, with the pistol.
Yeah, the basically his whole kit around revolve around number four.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So notice how a lot of people find him charming because he doesn't reveal his face, doesn't reveal his expression. That's what makes him so attractive, so
Yeah.
yeah, so engaging. So that's why I took inspiration hugely from Jin and Lee Sin.
Yeah, I just and so Burger hasn't played League of Legends, but these are two characters from League of Legends. Like Lee Sin is he's more like a melee character. He's a jungler, and
Yeah.
then Jin is an ADC. He's a ranged character. I think like Jin's like his passive is like every fourth shot crits. Is that correct?
Oh yes, of course, definitely.
Yeah. I played more Jin than Lee Sin, but anyway, just a little bit of background to people who don't play League. I don't play League anymore. Like I need to clarify, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
The way you talked about him not revealing his face and that being what it attracts people to him, I see that in other characters as well, and I can see why that is. There's like a element of mystery to it.
Yes, definitely.
I like that.
It's a way of like it will make him a bit both of a threatening but also a mysterious friendly figure. So this is like a more of a little psychological way, but like when you obstruct a face or expression, when the character in an action or like in a very tense moment, it's feel disconnected, it's feel dehumanized the character, and it would make him a bit more threatening, more powerful. So that's my inspiration why he's wearing a blindfold. That's also why he's also a behemoth species. So both of them are working with each other in harmony to make it as a powerful character, powerful person.
I see the horns. Like next to the ear. It looks like you have 4 horns though. 'Cause I see like 2 small horns and 2 bigger horns.
Yes. So yeah, that's also made to him more like a similar how a king would wear a crown. So this way it's
Interesting.
more to symbolize him like he's the more of a bigger person, to be dominant, to be more in control when you see the character. So that's why with the horn.
Yeah, that's a really good way of expressing that. I really like that sense of power and like dominance. Yeah, that's really
Can you
cool.
tell us a little bit more about the name Reachea? Like what does it mean and does it have a history?
It's not much of a history side. It is a Cambodian name. It's actually a what we call in my language is called Reachea or king languages basically. So the name Reachea means like the basically the high classes. Rich in my language it basically means like a king or a emperor. So Reachea is a bit more of a bit of a playful name at the end, but it's to make him sound a bit more like we said, a bit more threatening, a bit more powerful in his name. So yeah, that's the reason behind Reachea name.
Sure. We have so many questions for you today. Let's just start with, again, another basic question. How did you get into the fandom? As a Cambodian furry, how did you get into the fandom?
Oh my gosh, it went all the way back. I remember when I was like sitting around at my house at the corner of the wall and using my mom's phone to watch some YouTube video. And it was at first I was like watching Pokemon and Digimon video. And then I just saw this one video about of a furry AMV, the anime music video.
Oh,
And I immediately got hooked in it. I was like, ooh, what is this? And I just started to dig into the furry part. And then there's that. I'm introduced to the furry fandom.
When was this? Was this like 5 years ago, 6 years ago?
Ooh, I think it's a bit longer than that. I think it's around like
Like
more
10 years?
Oh yeah, it's definitely more than 10 years.
Oh wow. So this is like what, like middle school for you maybe, or elementary, or what?
It definitely in elementary school.
So you became a furry in elementary, like around elementary school.
Yes, yes, I do. I think around elementary school, if I can recall it correctly.
Wow.
Yeah. That is surprisingly not uncommon nowadays, now that kids have more access to technology and therefore the internet.
Yeah, I think it's
Just
also because of the furry becoming more common into the internet. So that wouldn't be
Mhm.
the realm of a not.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah. When I was first introduced to the fandom, this is around late 2000s, early 2010s,
Hmm.
it was less common to be furry or to see furry, and most people didn't really reach out or see it or look for it until they were like in their teenage years, late teens, early 20s. Coincidentally, right around the time that I discovered the furry fandom. I think it's good that it has more reach nowadays. Yeah.
I think Reachea became a furry before me because I only became a furry in 2017.
Zootopia?
For me, well, just to make a very short story, because I've actually explained this in our new YouTube short, in our latest one.
Hmm.
I saw Balto as a kid, like growing up. I don't know, I was 5 or 6 years old. Maybe this was like 2001 or something like that. I saw in the movie Balto, and that was like the gateway drug for me. And then the time, like the actual year that I say to people that became a furry is 2017, because it's just years and years of just like being passive, I guess. And then like in 2017, I said, I'm gonna do furry. Let's just do it. Let's see what cons are out there. Let's make friends. Let's just fucking do it. Yeah, in a nutshell.
Hmm.
No, I mean,
I like that attitude.
I could understand around that part. It's also coincidentally around that part is like the movie Zootopia just come out, and they did
Oh
convert a
yeah,
lot of
yeah, yeah,
people into a
yeah.
furry fandom. So
Well,
there's that.
for me, it wasn't the main reason, but it definitely helped me like push myself along. I'll give Zootopia this. Zootopia helped me decide that I wanted to be a fox. After I saw Nick, I was like, yep, I'm gonna be a fox.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Hmm.
but
Yep.
another story, another time. I wanted to ask you though, again, because I've never been to Cambodia, so I'm just like really fascinated. Like, tell us about your childhood though. Like you grew up in Cambodia. Like, tell us about like your hometown, and like how it was living there. I mean, just start wherever you feel like it.
Oh, of course. So, when I was born, I was actually born in a not in Siem Reap, which is now it's called the second capital of Cambodia, but I
Hmm.
was actually born in a province called Kampong Kadai, which is around like an hour or two away from the Siem Reap. But then I moved to Siem Reap around like 1 or 2 years old, and I didn't stay in the capital itself. I stay in the countryside they call
Hmm.
Phnom Krom. So I spent most of my childhood there, hanging out like basically what a countryside kid would do, hanging around in the rice field or something like that.
Hmm.
And I started to move to the city in around age 7 or 8 years old. Also, when I started to introduce what a technology like Cartoon Network and all that stuff, which
Ooh.
which then again it's like a new world for me because the first thing that I get introduced was in Cartoon Network and all that stuff. So it's a fresh taste for me until I live in the city since the 8 years old until now.
Oh, okay, okay. Would you say you lived in the countryside for just a short while?
Yeah, I think like
Yeah,
around
yeah.
4 or 5 years or so.
Sure, sure. But then since then, like you said, like what, like you're 7 or 8 years old. Is that correct? That you've been living in more like a urban environment?
Oh yes, definitely, definitely.
Sure, sure, sure. Gotcha.
What would you say, outside of the obvious differences? What would you say is the difference between like a countryside life and like a urban city life?
Oh, there are a lot because I grew up in back in the day. There's not much of a technology we introducing stuff. I mean, we do have a TV, but then again, I don't know what their purpose was because I was so young at that time. But for me, I usually more of when I'm younger, I usually spend more time fishing and all that stuff. So yeah, compared to now, there are a lot of new stuff like theater, like supermarket. Uh,
Hmm.
there's also digital stuff like internet, YouTube, Facebook, which I never know was existed back in the day. It's like two different worlds for me at least. So yeah, I it's a really different stuff for me to experience. But then again, I'm very glad it did because how would I? That's how I get into the furry fandom because of it introducing
Yeah,
into
yeah.
the technology and
Of
stuff.
course, yeah.
Did you grow up like kind of like my family, for example? I come from a poor family. Did you grow up into like a poor family or?
I would say, yeah, a bit, yeah, a bit. We do again. Siem Reap is a tourism place, so we do rely a lot on tourism. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, we do have like our own small local restaurant, but yeah, we do still have some moment in time. We do have a bit struggle here and there.
Yeah. Yeah, my family when they moved to the US, they definitely struggled because like they couldn't take much stuff with them, and then like they basically had to leave everything behind. So
Oh
my
yeah,
my family, they I think before they moved to the US, like when they're in Laos, I think they were primarily farmers. Yeah, so they definitely had a taste of like the countryside, and then when they moved to the US, they finally got to live in what I would call a suburban area.
I definitely feel lucky that I've technically lived in a more urban setting throughout since I was born, basically. It may not have been the most prestigious town, but I grew up in a more urban area
Well, I think you grew up more
south of.
suburban, I would call it.
That was after high school, I think. It was a suburban area that I lived in before moving up to Plano and all that. But I used to live in a place called Duncanville,
But did
which was closer to.
but did you live like downtown Duncanville?
Well, the street that I lived on didn't have a sidewalk. I'll say that much.
It sounds more suburban to me. Yeah,
yes,
what I
it
would
does
call a
sound more
suburb. Yeah.
suburban.
Yeah, but I did have a decent. I was basically my backyard was basically like this forest, though.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. My backyard was a forest in Wiley as well, but yeah,
Mm.
but I mean, it got paved over. Yeah, yeah. But
Mm.
back to Cambodia, I was really curious. I'm a little bit curious of like, what do your parents do if I'm allowed to ask?
Oh yeah, it's definitely fine for me. Right now they have this job that are what they call a ceremonial preparation. Like basically we take responsible on food when it's come to party like wedding, birthday,
Mhm.
or a funeral or something like that. So we take responsible on that part.
Is it mainly the food, or is it like other things you have to organize for those events?
There's also other stuff that we take accepted like we do sometime takes preparation of the stage and the event itself as well. But
Sure, sure.
yeah, but sometimes we like the guests and all that stuff. No, that's up to the person who's ordering the packages from us. We only take responsible from the on the food, the drink, and the stage, the preparation itself, not the guests and
Hmm.
all that stuff.
So it sounds like to me like I guess I would call them
Yeah,
event
that's the word I
planners,
was looking for too.
or
Yeah.
or event planners, or like, and maybe some catering. I think we'd
Hmm.
also call it catering.
Ooh, catering. I yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I think event planner would be suitable more, but yeah.
sure.
Hmm. Cool.
And then what are you studying right now though? That's something like I know that you're a student and you're in college, but what are you studying?
Right now, I'm personally studying a professional design. I'm currently in my second years. My course are basically more of a artsy style. If you could say that, it's more of a
Sure.
art field because we usually tends to focus more on general design than a specific one like architecture or building. But we focus more on object or painting or the uses of the consumption.
The uses of consumption. So you're really, so it's important to you how people use the product that you're designing, right?
Yes, yes, definitely. It's very important for the designer. We're working both on the design consumption and the way how it could be appealing to the consumer.
Right. And we talked about this a little bit before the podcast, but tell us again, what do you create your products like? What kind of age range or what kind of demographic?
We tend to do on all of the ages, but mostly or more frequently is to the younger audiences, to a range around like 20 or to 30-ish consumer. Because again, in Cambodia, there are a lot of people. The majority of citizens here are a range around of like 20 to 30-ish. We do have to work a lot around the on that age gap, on how they're designed and how they're attracted to that person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What got you interested in this field, though? Like this field of professional design? Like what made you want to pursue a career in this field?
Oh, I actually because I was so into art in the first place.
Yeah, yeah.
What got me into the design, because I really love art, and I want to expand it on my knowledge on how I could use this into more of a business style. So that's why I choose design graphic, because I could actually use my art knowledges to make it into a product, so that I could attract the buyer or the consumer to buy my product.
Because as an artist, you have to learn things like composition, like lighting, like subject perspective, and like you apply these like these aspects or like these theories, and then you turn it into like a product, I suppose.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
How does it look like? What is it shaped? You know, is it big or is it small? And like so I can see some overlap there. Yeah.
It's actually quite common that you think that how art would correlate with how the design would works.
I'm not an artist, I'm a photographer, so I had to know basic exposure. I need to know aperture, I need to know field of view. I need to know composition, for example. So like whenever I take photos, I keep these things in mind, and it gave me like a deeper appreciation of art. Again, I'm not like I don't draw, I'm not an artist, so it's like, you know,
Oh no,
but it gives me that appreciation, yeah.
in the design field, from what I learned, it actually also require photography as well, because
Oh yeah.
oh
So you do some photography?
yeah, because we not just design product, but also we mainly design poster as well. So this is why we also require photography to help us to capture some product, and we could make it as a poster. So it's also a requirement to know photography as well in the design field.
Is there anything you want to do like with this degree, like or maybe like where do you want to work after you graduate, I should say?
For me, right now, I kind of wanted to work into the for a company, so that I could have more experiences, or because we tend to work with client, and different client require different subjective on their design.
Hmm.
So I would really love to work in a company, so that I could have more experiences on their view of how each design and how they like their design, and so that I could use that knowledge to also not just on to work on the design job, but also I could use that knowledge to work with my art form as well. So there are a bit of exchange here and there.
Hmm.
I try to make the benefit on both sides in that way.
That is an interesting perspective.
You know, we've been kind of talking a lot about art, and so I think we can just go ahead and like jump straight into that topic. What got you into art then?
Ooh, it's not like a nice story, but
Oh yeah.
it's the one that helped me, that I am still proud of.
Mhm.
I think it's around in the 2019, or yeah, I think it's around in 2019. I was feeling a bit down, let's say down in the moment in life. So I woke up one day, I was like, I could do something better than this. I want to make
Mhm.
something a bit more than this, and just instead of just feeling a bit down most of the time. So I started picking up my tablet and started to, I'm already a furry at this point. I've been a furry
Right,
for
right.
a very long time. So I just picked up my tablet and just started to learn drawing. Like, I could make something out of this. I told myself, like, I could make something out of this. This could be my moment to become more than this. So I just start picking up my the tablet, look at some references, and started drawing. And from that day, I discovered that wow, I actually enjoy art a lot. I really, really love
Mhm.
art. So
That's incredible to hear. I'm As someone who's studied the creative fields as well, I went into film and audio and stuff. I really like how everyone's story about how they got into art, it almost kind of it's similar how they feel like there's something greater that they could be doing, or that there's something greater in life because they've discovered this way of expressing themselves, of expressing some sort of creativity in them. I think that's a really powerful thing about art forms in general.
Oh, I could definitely agree. It's a really powerful topic. It's basically more of a open world in our head that we could just draw it out and express it
Yeah.
through illustration. So it's a really,
Mm-hmm.
really powerful thing. I could definitely agree on that.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying that you started getting into art by like you were drawing on your tablet, right?
Yes.
So was it just like was it like an iPad with like a stylus, or were you just like using your finger, or
Oh my gosh, it's actually a Samsung tablet. It's like around like
ah
5 or 6 years at this point.
right.
And I watched some video on YouTube where you have the metallic like similar to a nail, but you can
Yeah.
also dip it in the silk, and you can just draw it when it's wet. So
Wait, so you have like a nail and you dip it in what again? Silk?
yeah, we have like put the silk on top of the nail part, so that
Interesting.
when we dip into the water, it actually works on the tablet.
Ah,
Yeah.
oh wow, interesting. I didn't know that's
Hmm.
how it worked.
Yeah,
So you can have like a nail as like a pen. Well, you have to attach silk to the nail. You dip that into water, and then I guess that allows you to draw
Yeah,
on a tablet.
it works similar to stylus, but you have to constantly dip it each time when it begins dried out.
It sounds like you're working with like ink.
That's exactly. Yeah, it sounds pretty old school, honestly. That's awesome.
Yeah, but now I
An
tend to
interesting
move.
way, yeah, like it's like you're applying an ancient technique to to draw something digital.
I actually never thought about that part, but now I could see it. Actually, yeah, it
So
makes a
then,
lot
like,
of sense.
were you drawing furry stuff when you started out, or were you drawing just like non-furry stuff?
I'm already started drawing furry at that point. I actually
Yeah,
started.
yeah,
The first thing I would do is actually working on my persona. So there are a lot of different updated later on, but yeah, the first thing I remember when I draw is my persona. And the second part is like I started to make some new OCs and here and there, and then just I move away from the metallic style metallic nail stuff. So right now I'm using fingers.
Oh wait. So right now you're just using your fingers.
Yeah, I'm using finger. I still draw on the same tablet, but I don't use that old stuff anymore. I'm just using my finger from then on.
Wow. So you don't want to buy a stylus, or?
Oh, I definitely buy like 3 or 4 times, but they never lasted more than 6 months.
Oh, interesting,
Wow.
interesting. So you've been drawing with your finger, because I think you're probably one of the few artists I know who's like I'm looking at your art, and like for example your profile picture, you're telling me that you drew that with your fingers.
Yes, yes, you're definitely right.
Wow.
I actually draw that
I
with my
can't I
finger.
can't, I can't imagine that. Like you have to like send like a recording of us of you doing that. Like I need to see this. Yeah. Because like I'm looking at the strokes and everything. Like they're very detailed. There's a lot of strokes, and you have different shades. And you're telling me you do that with your fingers. I'm dumbfounded.
It's
Yeah,
not.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of fine motor skills involved with using your fingers to create stuff, but I never really thought about applying that to like actually drawing or painting unless it's like, finger painting. But that's kind of basically what you're doing on your tablet, just finger painting your way into some furry artwork.
I mean, it's not an easy process. I need to get used to it for like a month or so until I get used to it. But
Sure.
I've been doing this for more like than 2 or 3 years or so. So it's not that hard for me, but it's a hard learning process from the start. It is a bit difficult.
But have you ever thought about buying like like Cintiqs or something like that?
Oh, definitely, because currently I might require to buy it from in my colleges as well. So
Oh
I
wow,
do have some
that must
plan
be
on that.
expensive for you guys for like the not like the basic Wacom or whatever, like a Cintiq. That's even in America, Cintiqs are expensive. So like, it must be expensive for you, I would imagine.
I might actually stick to Wacom for now because it's a
Yeah.
famous product here.
Mhm.
For digital artists. It's a famous product. So I might stick
exactly.
to that as well.
Believe it or not, like I actually have a very very basic, like probably no more than 7 USD Wacom drawing tablet. It's probably just like the base tier because I also
Mm.
wanted to do art. I mainly was wanting to do calligraphy, but with like digital calligraphy, but it didn't really work out. So I was like, I basically gave up after a month.
But yeah,
Mm.
I could understand that it is a bit hard to get used in the first stuff, but
Yeah.
I could assure you it will eventually you will eventually get used to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more of a photographer now. I mean, I think you probably know this, but I do voice acting and I do photography, and I feel like I'm kind of pretty deep in those fields. So I think drawing, like I probably wouldn't pick up drawing anytime soon.
No, yeah, I could understand it because photography it's not an easy work as well. You have to have a lot of
Yeah.
patience and dedication. I'm not that deep into photography, but
Hmm.
I do have experiences because again I study photography in my colleges. There are a lot of patience put into that part. So
Yeah.
I'm
Hmm.
I'm paying my high respect because on how patient photography are to capture one good picture. So
Yeah.
I have massive respect on that.
I'm just an
Hmm.
amateur though. Like I have a Sony A7 III. I'm definitely more experienced than when I first started photography, but I definitely wouldn't call myself a pro. I don't
Yeah,
like
as
like I don't do photography. I don't earn money on my photography. Like I haven't gotten to that point yet. Because I've been mainly doing translation and voice acting as my like primary way of earning income.
as someone who's done film and studied film,
Hmm.
I guess I still consider myself an amateur as well, just because I've never been paid for any of the filming that I did, aside from like a wedding video or two. But there's definitely a lot of patience required for drawing and painting too, just because of how you draw and how you sketch things, how much pressure you put with like your stylus or your pen. All of that takes a certain amount of skill and patience as well.
Yep.
So that's just something that's out of my wheelhouse as well. So that's something that I admire,
Yeah, I could.
especially with your fingers. That's great.
I mean, I tend to stick more onto a sketchy style, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I could agree on sometime art could take time to really work on it, and it's
Yeah.
also there's something to me about a sketchy art style that tends to be more appealing to me. I don't know, it's like
Sure.
a messy, but it also could be very expressive.
Hmm.
It's why I stick to more of a sketchy style, but it's also mixed with color because
Yeah.
it's really something that catch my attention a lot.
You mentioned that you were you started being an artist in 2019, right?
Yes.
And I was just kind of curious though, do you have any sort of like art inspirations that sort of like inspired you to get into art?
Oh,
Um like currently, do you have any people like on the podcast we like to say art senpais? Do you have any like art senpais that you that inspired you to draw?
there is a for my first person I really look up to this more for my inspiration. He's from Thai. He's also a furry. Uh, I think his name is Mumu the Lion.
Where is he from again?
From Thailand, I believe.
Oh, Moo the Lion. I
Hmm.
don't think I know him.
Yeah, I think he just entered Twitter in the 2020 or so, I believe. I can't recount it, but yeah, he's definitely from Thai, and
Yeah,
he's the
yeah.
first person that I really look up to and for my inspiration because of his not one comic, a series of comics called Dungeon Island. I really love that. I really love that comic a
Hmm.
lot, and it's a furry comic. So if you are into that, I highly suggest reading it. It's really really good.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I'll check it out when I have time. You said he only joined Twitter in 2020. What website did you first discover him on?
I definitely discover him in Facebook. Before I get into Twitter as well. I saw him on Facebook around 2017 or so. That's why I keep my eyes on him and his my inspiration. I when I read his comic, I usually dream of how I could make that something like that as well.
I'm looking at his Twitter right now. I think I've seen his art before. Yeah, I'm not sure if these are the two same entities, but he has a link to something called Momo Fantasy. That I'm familiar with that person. Like Momo Fantasy, I think it might be his seller or his dealer. So I think like that person might be responsible for like printing stuff out and selling it at cons.
Yeah,
Momo Fantasy, and I know he is Thai. Momo Fantasy, that guy is Thai. Moo Lion, he's probably Thai as well. Because I think they're friends.
yeah.
So I'm not sure if I know Moo Lion himself, but I think I know his friend. Yeah,
I actually buy his comic from Momo Fantasy. So there's
yeah,
that.
yeah. Momo Fantasy, I don't think that's his name. That's just like the company name. But I'm pretty sure I've met the person who runs Momo Fantasy. I think I've met him like at least a few times. Yeah,
Ooh.
like at Firm one time and a couple times at Tight Tails.
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
gosh.
So Mumu Lion is like one of your art inspirations. Do you have any others?
I do have though. There's also Null Ghost. I'm pretty sure you know who Null Ghost is.
Yeah, because he's like Taiwanese, I think.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Null Ghost and also Takemoto.
Yeah, Takemoto.
Takemoto.
Yeah,
Yep.
All right.
because
Oh shit, Takemoto. I haven't seen that guy in a long time.
I love how Takemoto his art is so cute, but it's
Yep.
also gorgeous. It's very expressive. I could say that it's very expressive. When I look into his Sona, I remember I first saw his art of his stickers, his chibi stickers,
Yeah.
and I feel joy in my
Mhm.
in myself. I feel like, oh, this is so cute. I want to do something like this as well.
You should come to Taiwan, man. You're probably bound to run into Takemoto. He works as a well, I mean, because he draws the Dinshis, right? So he works as a dealer at conventions usually here. Probably lately he'll be going abroad, but not sure if he's going to Thai Tales. Probably yes on that. But yeah, like yeah, Takemoto, he's a cool guy. I've met him a few times. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Talking about no Ghost. I know the name. I know his art. I've never seen him before. I think he's really introverted. He probably won't reveal that he's Null Ghost in real life. But Takemoto's pretty cool. Yeah, I love his art. I like his
Mhm.
Zootopia art.
I mostly like his sticker art because it's so
Yeah,
adorable and expressive.
you're talking about like his Persona sticker, right? Like the orange and brownish looking like wolf
K9,
character, I guess.
yes. Uh,
Yeah, or I guess he's a dog. I'm not sure. I'm not sure actually. I thought he was a wolf.
I just called him as K9 because I'm unsure as
Yeah,
well. There's also I like his contrast between his Sona Takemoto and his OC Otake.
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh my god,
Because
they're
because it's kind of obvious. Like one of I guess like one of them's like the Dom one's the sub. I guess it has like this kind of like power dynamic. I feel.
for me it's more like a cheerful and a grumpy person.
Yeah.
Otake
Hmm.
is
Yeah.
very grumpy. Again, I could tell from his art and his expression. That's why I
Hmm.
really like his art a lot. He's also managed to make a grumpy person, but also seems so lively as well.
We're still on the topic of art, so I do have to ask though. Do you think or do you feel that artists are respected in Cambodia though? Like not furry artists, but just artists in general.
I think yeah, I think there are a lot of respectable career in Cambodia because
Mm,
again when Cambodian people heard that of an artist, they usually think of they are really talented basically.
mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty confident that they are really respectable in Cambodian. But again, because the East Cambodian is a tourism country, isn't much profitable, I would say, than
Mm-hmm.
other career in here. But then again, it's also a very respectable because not a lot
Really?
of people would choose to be an artist.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there are admiration in here, a lot of admiration.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What about like your parents though? Did your parents, like what did they think? Well, I mean, because you're studying professional design, but then on the side you do arts. So, do your parents know that you also draw furry art, or?
I'm not sure if they know I'm a furry, but they did saw me draw furry once a while. But
Sure.
they did actually really supportive on my art career. So
Oh wow,
I actually told them that I would do art for commission, and they actually really supported on that idea.
that's great. So they know
Hmm.
you do art, but they don't know that you're a furry. Is that correct?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So how do you hide that? Do you tell them like, oh, like I do art, but like you don't tell them like I draw bara bodies?
I usually just told them it's for clients.
Oh, okay.
I
Hmm.
just
Sure.
I just said this is for a client. This is their character. Is the
Hmm.
client.
Hmm.
But
Technically, that is true. Yeah.
they never ask on deeper than that. And I think they don't mind me drawing the Bara character.
Oh, okay.
But
Interesting.
yeah, they did saw me before, but I'm not sure if they really question in their mind in the first place.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So when you're drawing furry, uh, we mentioned that you like to draw bara, but is that your favorite thing to draw?
Ooh, actually, yes. I really like drawing Bara. I basically I'm more into drawing muscular character because I find it very fun to draw muscular character. I just draw them and just posting them, and people just find it appealing as well. So I'm really glad about that part because again, it's what I enjoy drawing a lot.
What particularly about muscular bodies do you like the most? Like, what's the most appealing part about drawing them?
I think for me, because I really like masculine men, and I think that,
Amen.
amen.
Yeah. All right. Amen. Now we're
I'm
talking.
I'm really into muscular men, like masculine style.
Yeah.
So this is why I wanted to make them basically as masculine as possible, like this tough looking
Yeah.
bodybuilding. That's what caught my attention and my appealing a lot. So this is why I really enjoy drawing something like this. Again, it's there's something about manliness that I really enjoy drawing. So
Yeah.
this is one of my favorite things to draw about.
Hmm.
I'm probably in the same camp as you. I like the sort of masculinity and characters. I do I need to show you my persona doing parkour later. I think you probably haven't seen that one yet, but I'll share that with you like in a moment or something.
Oh,
But
please
yeah,
do.
like I could kind of sense that. Yeah, you're. I mean, it says it right on your bio that you draw bara bodies. So yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Hmm.
It is something I really my taste,
Yep.
my taste.
Can you tell us something challenging that you've had to draw? Like something that challenged you, something that's maybe the hardest thing that you've had to draw before?
Oh, I do met some part of a commission that I have to work on that are a bit more of a challenge than I would expect it. Especially for me, tattoo one of my biggest enemy.
Hmm.
Yeah, for me a struggle for me is tattoo. It's really hard to draw on, especially on different perspective, and there's also muscle surfaces. So tense muscle have different surfaces like bicep,
Right.
shoulder,
Right.
the fist and palm, something like that. They have different surfaces, so I need to adjust the tattoo onto that part. So it's really challenging for me. That's the hardest part for
Hmm.
me to work on.
Do
And
you have like those like do you have like that figurine like a body figurine that's like probably like a muscular figurine to show you like the different body parts and like the different muscular parts? Do you have one of those like models on your desk or
no, I
I'll buy one for
unfortunately
you.
no.
I'll send one for you later, man. Like it sounds like you sound like you might need it.
Oh, I definitely, I desperately need one.
Sure. Yeah,
But
because those are useful. And it's like movable, right? Those models, like let's just say they're made out of wood or something. Like they're movable, so like you can move the hands and the feet and the head, and so that way it gives you like something visual to refer to.
oh, it's definitely really useful when it comes to anatomy.
Hmm.
It definitely help a lot. But for alternatively, I usually not usually I mostly I would go into Twitter or Google and search muscular bodybuilders and
Yeah.
study their muscle from there. Usually I usually look on lighting on their muscle so that I know the
Yep.
surfaces and the how to shadow them.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's my best option for now. I just usually just look at bodybuilders, picture and help me on how to visualize the surface of each muscles.
Sounds very saucy.
Saucy.
You gotta look at all these videos and content and not get distracted, right?
Again, that
Yeah, it doesn't
in a way
it
it would help
doesn't
me.
sound like a punishment at all.
Again, I find it entertaining because
Yeah.
muscular men enjoy drawing bara, so it's a win-win.
Yeah. I think I've got like maybe just one last question about art, and then we can move on. Like I was scrolling through your Twitter, the other day, and just kind of like looking at your artwork overall, and I was gonna say, have you ever thought about making like a comic series or like a doujinshi? Like maybe you don't need to publish it physically, but have you ever thought about doing like a doujinshi kind of thing, like with original characters or your character or something like that?
Oh my gosh, you have no idea how much I wanted that because that's actually why Momo Lion was my inspiration because I wanted to make
Right.
doujinshi as well.
Hmm.
Or or a comic. Well, I actually want to make a comic style of my original character. It
Hmm.
usually my inspiration is from Marvel as well.
Oh
But
yeah, I love Marvel.
oh yeah, their
What what
comic
what
is so good.
what is it about Marvel that inspires you?
Oh, basically, for me, it's about the storyline of how they could make different character with different superpower could
Yeah.
work together.
Hmm.
I'm guessing you like Thor. I'm guessing you like Thor, right? Like, was it Chris Hemsworth?
Yeah, you guessed it.
I had a feel like, well, I like Thor. Like again, I'm not gonna spoil too much. I think people have seen most of the movies, but I like him in Ragnarok. What
Oh,
was it? I think the one where he has like short hair. Like, I like him with short hair, and like I like him shaved.
oh
He look
yeah.
well to me. He looks more masculine. Like well, in my opinion, he looks more masculine. Like shaved, like kind of like a crew cut.
Yeah, I actually prefer on his short hair as well though because he looks more yeah like you said more masculine, but it's also make him
Yeah.
more look like a warrior style.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
it
agree,
is
agreed. Yeah.
it suit him
I don't.
so
Yeah, I
well.
can't. I don't want to spoil too much for the crowd. I just saw Endgame. Believe it or not, I just
Oh
saw
my gosh,
Endgame like 3 weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago.
mate, you are 5 year behind.
Yeah. No joke. No joke. Like, cause like what Endgame came out in like 2019, I think.
Yes,
Hmm.
yes.
Yeah. I literally just saw Endgame like 4 weeks ago. So I don't want to spoil it to the other people who may not watch Endgame, but I get the feeling most people have already. Yeah.
Yeah.
They probably already know the memes from it.
Yeah.
At least that much. Yeah.
So Marvel has been a source of inspiration for you because you said that it's the combination of like people from different backgrounds and superpowers, but they're all connected in a universe, like literally the MCU.
Yeah, and how they could work together beside
Yeah.
different powers.
Hmm.
I mean,
Hmm.
like again, like how you could see Doctor Strange could work with
Yep.
Spider-Man despite their different powers.
Right.
And,
Right.
and that's what
Hmm.
intrigued me a lot on how they could make character work well so good.
Are you saying that's something that you want to implement in a future comic, or like what?
If I was able to make a comic, yes, that's what I wanted to do as well.
It's just like you have like, are you saying that like you want to have like a comic series where it's like different characters with different superpowers in like different worlds, and like they band together kind of thing? Or
Oh yes, definitely. I
Sure.
want to
No
make something.
spoilers. No spoilers for Richia's future doujinshi. We don't want to spoil any. I mean, yeah, you heard it here, folks. He's making a comic.
Hmm.
If I could,
Sure.
but yeah, I have a dream on something like that.
Yeah. Dream big, dude. Like I think you have, well, you definitely have like the fan base, right? You have like 13K followers on Twitter, and I think that you've got like an initial fan base. So whatever you put out, you definitely are going to have people who consume that media, who watch that media. I think like you should dream big. I think you can definitely be successful there. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
Mhm.
Thank you.
And, I mean, we might even see your fucking doujinshi published at like Thai Tales or Infernity. I mean, like, who knows?
Oh my gosh.
If you ever get in touch with like Momo Fantasy and stuff, they can probably give you pointers about like
Mhm.
how to print things out, how to publish things. Well, I mean, they would be in Thailand, but like maybe they can give you pointers and then you apply that for Cambodia. Yeah,
oh,
because I
definitely.
would imagine your products, you might find a bigger audience if you go outside of Cambodia. If you go to like Thailand, Taiwan, Japan, they really did that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I kind of want to do that as well, though.
Hmm.
But then again, I have to start to developing on some solid idea first. But I,
Right.
I,
Right.
I really love on your the inspiration me a lot actually. I really love that. Thank you so much.
Yeah. No
Mhm.
problem, man. I mean, like the podcast, this podcast right now. I always wanted to run a podcast, and I always wanted to contribute to the fandom, and it really just took like it took Burger to like talk to me and contact me, and we did something. Yeah. Like, well, I guess I'm just a believer of dedication. Like, if you really are dedicated and committed to something, to an idea, and you have the resources and time, I think you can do anything.
Oh my gosh, it's definitely possible. It's definitely
Yeah.
possible.
Sure.
I really
Sure.
love your optimism a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Have you considered becoming a life coach, Michael?
Um, I have not. That's a compliment. I think that's a compliment, man. No, I have been.
Hmm.
Yeah. So in this episode, we've kind of talked a lot about your background and your interest in art, how you became a furry, and all that. I kind of wanted to take like another angle and talk about like the furry fandom in Cambodia, like overall. This is another common question we do ask on the podcast, and that's like, does the average Cambodian even know what a furry is? I'm dying to know.
Okay, so this is a really interesting question
Yeah.
because I'm not fully sure if they aware of a concept of a furries, but I do say there are a bit more modernized character into the product and all that stuff. But I don't think they know, or I'm not fully aware or confident that they know that what a furry is. Then again, you could see that a lot of advertisements tend to anthropomorphize the animal to be similar to a furry like. Again, I'm not fully confident that they know what a furry is.
Hmm.
Hmm.
But like,
That's something you see that's very common outside, like from the West, stuff like Disney and Looney Tunes, and even in Japan with their animal characters as well. So maybe that's where they got their inspiration from. What do you think?
I could definitely see the probably their whole perspective. I think mostly here because anime is popular here, so I think they based it more on that concept because some anime tend to have furry character, right? Yeah,
Hmm.
so I think they tend to base more on that part. And yeah, I think it's also take inspiration from Disney because again, most of their character that they tend to use in here in Cambodia is more of a similar to a Disney looking style. So yeah, I think they only know what a anthropomorphized character is, but they don't know what a furry is.
Hmm.
Hmm. Hmm.
Do they like, what about like mascots? Like are mascots a thing in Cambodia like they are in Japan and Taiwan?
Yes, they do. And so far, mascot I only see mostly on a technology product, basically.
So
Uh,
like for example, like MSI has like a red dragon. So are you talking about something like that?
yeah, because I don't see sport using animal mascot here. I only
Yeah.
see use more of a advertising stuff like
Hmm.
phone or, but I think mostly on phone they tend to use mascot. I don't know why either.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, because like mascotting culture is like very big in Taiwan and Japan, and we've asked this question probably over 10 times, I guess, that like in your country, like do people think that fursuiting is similar to mascotting? But I think that like in the first place, there might not be very many Cambodian fursuiters.
Actually, I never met one actually.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's it's I mean, we're literally breaking ground here. It kind of reminds me of when we went to Laos with Defago. Shout out to that guy. I don't think he's listening right now, but shout out to Defago. Because he's like the only Lao furry I know. And then like here in Cambodia, like I think this is a similar situation where it's like the furry fandom I feel is very like new. I feel like I think it's only just now starting to take hold.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
And it's still not really fully aware on the general term as well. They're still not
Yeah.
aware of the general terms.
Is there even a Khmer word for furry?
Uh,
Or you guys just say furry? Do you type in English to say furry, or do you type in like the Khmer alphabet and then type in furry?
no, no, I don't think there is even a word for that.
So you just use English, like when you're typing in Khmer, do you just type in FURY or?
Yeah, I definitely just tend to FURRY
Interesting. Okay, gotcha.
because in here in Cambodia here you see there are folklore and story tends to
Yeah.
there's also have it's quite rare actually. I don't think there actually any story about furry stuff aside from Hanuman. But then again, the tends called Hanuman, a god or something like that. So yeah, I don't think there is a word for furry in Khmer.
What about like any kind of meetups? Have you attended like any furry meetups like in your city?
No, actually, I never had been because again,
Interesting.
for furry, aren't normally common here. So sometimes we don't even know other other Cambodian furry existed.
hmm But like, is there like a platform though? Is there like a platform or app or website that you guys can gather around, like through Facebook, or is there anything like that?
No, so far I have looked into it. No, there's never been one.
I say
So
you should make one. I think you really should make one. This is like a really, I guess I would say, new and also critical time. It sounds like a really good idea to make a group. Yeah, like even if it's just going to be 5 people at first. Like I think you might literally be one of like the OG Cambodian furs
oh
if you create
Yeah,
that
one of the
group.
pioneers.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
might be one of the pioneers, like the true, like, man, I hate to say legends, but you might be a legend. Even if it's just like a Telegram group chat, like I think there's something worth it. Yeah.
I really love your optimistic though. It sound very inspiration actually. It sound really
Yeah.
inspiration.
It's okay if you don't want to make it. Like, I know it's just a suggestion, so don't let me force you, but it really sounds like if no one is doing something like that yet, if no one has like a group, whether it be on Facebook, Telegram, or whatever, I feel like now is a really good time to make one.
It's just like the saying, if you build it, they will come.
Oh my gosh, this sounds so motivative. No, really, this sounds really motivative.
No, we're just excited, you know?
I'm excited. Yeah, like we're yeah, like I'm excited. I've never been to Cambodia, but I'm excited.
But then again, we don't really know. For me anyway, for me at least, because again I've been in this furry fandom for at least a decade. I don't really saw a lot of furry in here as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, but
It's
then
still
again,
growing. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's
it
just like, I think if they did have that group, or it doesn't have to be a physical group. It's just like that Facebook group or something like that. I think that might help attract people. I feel.
definitely.
But like, I hope you do find more furries though. Like it sounds like there aren't any regular meetups happening right now, but maybe that might be something that might happen next year or later this year. Who knows?
I'm hoping the day they have actually have furcon in Cambodia, but then again, it's way out of their reaches.
Yeah. This would be a
Yeah.
very, very difficult thing. Yeah, like starting a con. We've seen in the past, especially for these cons in Asia, that they start off as like a 1 day meetup. I would say it might be just like a really big meetup, and then they transform from like a 1 day meetup to like a bigger size con. So like they start out with a room, but then they later move on to a hotel. Yeah, it might just be like an event center. Like there's no hotel, an event center. Like I think was it Furum was like that? I think it was like a room
Yeah,
Forum,
Furum.
yeah,
room
Forum.
at
And
a
then
convention center. that started off as a room and then became a con. I think Infinity was like that actually. I think JC's gonna kick my ass if I don't remember, but I
Yeah.
think like 2015, 2016 Infinity. That's like the very first Infinity was like 2015, I think, because I was there in 2017. They already had a con hotel in 2017. I'll go ask JC later. 'Cause I don't want to say the wrong thing. But of course, like it's a lot of time dedication, right? Like there's time dedication. There's also money. People who are willing to pay for these things, right? Like if you're poor already, then it's kind of hard to like to justify the cost.
Yeah,
Like why would I go to this convention or whatever if I'm gonna pay whatever? This is like a lot of money for me. Yeah.
more so it's a if they start doing it, it's also a lot of people think it would be a family friendly convention until they expose to doujinshi.
Right.
There's also artists who are gonna sell their art and all that stuff, so it's gonna be hard in the first time.
I'm still kind of like astounded. Did you say that like most Cambodians probably they don't even know what furry is?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure they do know anthropomorphified character, but I'm
Yeah.
not fully confident they know the concept of furry.
I imagine like if anyone is a con chair, it doesn't have to be you, but like if anyone is a con chair, I would imagine like then you have to explain to the hotel or the convention center like, okay, what is furry?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, well, everyone has to do that. If you're the con chair for any con, like everyone has to explain what furry is.
They never have exactly a word for furry because, again, if you count Tom and Jerry, for example, right?
Oh yeah.
Are Tom and Jerry classified as furry?
Yeah.
Definitely. Then in Cambodia, they just refer to them as cartoon, nothing
Yeah,
more.
yeah.
So yeah,
I can see that.
there's never an actual word for furry. It's either cartoon, anime, that's all.
Yeah. Kind of curious though, like have you gotten the chance to meet like other Cambodian furry artists, not just Cambodian artists, but like Cambodian furry artists? I know we mentioned one name already, but like have you gotten a chance to like meet up with other artists and like talk about art and like exchange ideas and stuff?
For me, as for a furry Cambodian artist, I'm not fully aware of any artist other than Peason, but I do actually met Peason in real life once.
Oh,
Uh,
cool. Is he cool?
oh,
I guess that's a bad question. Is he cool? Is he listening to the? If he's listening to the podcast right now, you better say something nice. I'm kidding.
he's a very cool person. I could say
Yeah.
that confidently. He's a very very cool person. He's
How do you
very
spell his name again? P-Son, like P-S-E-N or P-S-O-N?
Physen.
Oh yeah, P-H-Y-S-E. Yeah. Oh, it's P-Son. I thought it was Fison, but sorry.
Yeah,
P-Son, P-H-Y-S-E. Okay, gotcha.
but yeah, he's a very very calm person. It's very chill as well. I enjoy
Yeah.
talking. I enjoy talking to him. When I get to meet him once.
Mhm.
I think back in 2020, I believe so.
Okay.
But he's a really fun guy to talk to. He's also giving me a lot of art advices when I
Right.
get to meet him. We spend like an hour or two just talking about art and stuff, and he's really giving me a lot of advices. So
Yeah.
could
I love
improve
that.
on.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean he's from your country, so it's like he's probably someone who could probably help you out a lot.
Definitely, I tend to rely on him when I need some art advices.
Yeah.
I'm a bit more confident to talk to him. So yeah, I really look up to him on his art style and his as a person as a whole, basically.
And I'm dying to ask though, like, is there any other Cambodian furry artists out there? Because like you two guys are the only furry artists that I know in Cambodia.
Uh, Again, I'm not sure, but I as an artist, I'm not really sure who else other than
Hmm.
P, but I do meet other Cambodian furry, but isn't an artist.
Hmm.
So
Sure.
for now, I only know P.
I was just curious, like, have you met like maybe not physically met, but have you been in contact with any furries from like Cambodia, Laos, or Thailand? Like, have you talked to them like occasionally?
Not exactly in Thailand, but I do have Discord server that I usually talk with my friends. They are also
Mhm.
furry from different places, and
Gotcha.
from Indonesia, Malaysia, and all like that. Sometimes there are people across seas as well, from
Yeah.
America as well.
Oh wow, international Discord. Cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're
Basically
probably
just Zoom.
surprised. They're probably surprised to see you. I would imagine.
I mean, for the first time,
Yeah.
it's the first time that they met the Cambodian furry.
If you ever go to MFF, then you will need to be ready to explain to them where Cambodia is. If you
Oh,
ever go to MFF or
Mhm.
AC, yeah. I mean, I had the same thing. Like I was talking to a friend the other day. Like I had to explain to people where Laos is.
oh, I have to keep that in mind then.
Yeah. I mean, even Taiwanese people, they sometimes don't know where Laos is, but yeah. But
Just tell them that it's the place where they filmed that one scene in the Tomb Raider movie.
I did not know that.
Oh wait, actually, Tomb Raider 2001 is actually shot in Angkor Wat. So
Yes, exactly.
yes, I have something to tell them.
There you go.
Mhm.
In one scene, in one scene, I think
Oh, in one scene. Oh, okay.
in one
Oh,
scene
interesting.
in Angkor Wat, I think.
Wow. I did
Yeah.
not know that.
That's
I
also
did not know that.
Yeah, that's also kind of jump-started the tourism towards Angkor Wat in Cambodia as well.
Yeah, I could agree on
Yep.
that.
We really just have one last question. This is also a pretty classic question on the podcast. Do you have advice for aspiring artists out there, and specifically for Cambodian furry artists?
I would say that first of all, art is a hobby, so you don't have to put pressure on what you're drawing. Just draw
Sure.
what you love. I mean, for me, I always draw bara because that's what I love to draw. So draw what you love, draw what you wanted to draw, not from pressure, but what you desire. And of course, keep practicing and dream big. Just keep going. I know it's sometimes it's feel a bit bad about your art from the start, but then again, art is something that you need to work to grow. You're not gonna get good in overnight, so you have to keep going, keep pushing. So don't give up if you want to be an artist. Just keep dreaming, keep practicing, and keep drawing.
Okay, great
You've
advice.
you've definitely complimented us on being motivational, but that sounded really motivational what you just said.
Uh,
So, thank you so much for being on this episode of the podcast. Can you give us your social media then? Tell us, where do you want people to find you on the internet?
Oh, you can find me on Twitter at not a blind wolf. My name is Reachea, and you can also find me in Instagram called Dragonic Wolf. And also, I'm pretty sure you could find me in Instagram if you type not a blind wolf as well. So there's my two social media that I usually active in.
Great.
Mhm.
He is not a blind wolf.
No, I'm not a
Love
blind
that.
wolf.
I love that, man. Like I love something funny like that. That's a great handle.
Mhm.
You're like the only
And,
one I know with
that's-
that.
just try to tell out that my son is not a blind wolf. Definitely not a blind wolf.
Yeah. Once again, Reachea, thank you so much for being on this podcast, telling us more about Cambodia, leading up to becoming a furry artist, your story, and all that. And we have high hopes for the Cambodian furry fandom. And hopefully, there will be more people that are inspired from your art and that you'll be able to reach out to people. Hopefully, there will be a nice little community that can just grow and grow like all the other countries over in Southeast Asia, East Asia, everywhere else in the world. I think, we have high hopes.
Thank you so
And
much.
we
And
do. Yep.
thank you so much, and I hope that you enjoy on this knowledge and my life on what it's like to be a furry artist in Cambodia.
Right. So, this has been the Fox and Burger podcast with me, Burger.
And I'm Michael the Matcha Fox.
And everyone listening, we will see you next time on the next episode. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Peace.